Ag Week Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
What does the weather have in store for us as we begin this new year? Here's Lydia with our Agri-weather outlook.
Now into the early parts of January and tallying up our snow total so far this season. A little over 10 inches in Fargo-Moorhead, close to a foot in Grand Forks, 11.2 in Bismarck, 9.5 inches out in the Black Hills and Rapid City, a little over 4.5 inches only in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with 8 inches in Minneapolis and 13.1 in Duluth. So I wanted to look at how far behind normal are we? Where does this rank us? And for a lot of us, quite a bit behind normal. And obviously we get at least a little moisture content out of winter snow. So our drought conditions that we started with in the fall do persist now into the winter. About 11 inches behind normal in Grand Forks, close to a foot here in Fargo, a little over a foot in Sioux Falls as well as Minneapolis. Near 2 feet behind normal snowfall for this time of year up in Duluth, Minnesota. About a foot in Bismarck and minus 8.4 out in Rapid City, South Dakota. So as I mentioned with the drought conditions, a lot of our dry weather and dry conditions, dry grounds and soils that we had going into the fall are now continuing to persist into the winter without any of those big, wet, heavy snows. We still have extreme drought conditions where you notice that deeper and darker red out near the Montana, North Dakota border, down through the Black Hills of South Dakota. A lot of us under that tan color, which means moderate drought. We see that from Fargo all the way down I-29 to Sioux Falls. Kind of an okay area around the Twin Cities, but we do have some pockets in northern Minnesota where we even have severe drought. That also means we don't have a lot of snow on the ground itself. We're looking at an inch for your snow depth in Grand Forks. So that's how much snow is left after getting a little bit of melting weather late December, right before Christmas, when temperatures were up into the 30s and even 40s for some of us. A trace for your snow depth here in Fargo and near zero from Sioux Falls to the Twin Cities, which you can see on the map there. Those deeper and darker blues indicating the deeper snowpack. Rapid City at 2 inches for your snow depth and 3 inches in Duluth. So what are we looking at then as we head into the middle to late parts of January? As far as your temperatures go, most of us in the upper northern plains looking above average. That's where you see kind of that orange-yellow color. Well below average off through the mid-Atlantic, down through the deep south into portions of Florida, which for them means temperatures in the 40s and 30s. Closer to home, we're looking at above average temperatures through the middle of January, indicating 20s and 30s, even a little bit warmer further off to the south. As for precip here through the middle part of the month, a little wet stretch right down the Montana area through, about the Four Corners, seeing some of that. Drier conditions out on the coast. And of course, the West Coast dealing with a lot of those wildfires, so not good news in that direction. I am looking at some clipper systems moving through, which tends to bring a little bit of precip for areas into northern North Dakota and northern Minnesota. Some of that could sneak its way into South Dakota. The second half of January, really getting into the later portions of January now, well below average temperatures. So we are in for some colder snaps. And with that too comes kind of some drier weather too to finish out the month of January.